Okay. At this point, this is a very strange room. There is a fog in here that's not in any other room. I have gotten one orb out of here. I assume there's another one. But there's also a monster, so I have to watch out for. So let's just quietly follow this wall all the way around until we find a door. That is my current plan. Be very methodical about this, instead of just running into the mist like I did last time. It doesn't look like this place makes you insane. It is not too dark. Okay, I can't see crap, but it's not too dark to make him go insane. That's the important thing. So just follow the room around. Go in any rooms I see. That's my plan. It is possible there's an orb in the center somewhere, though. No. Music, don't kick on, music. You stay right where you are. Alright, I think I'm okay. Step in. Alright.
The wheel is good for keeping your victims still during the procedure. They can be bound around the circumference or simply stretched across, tying limbs to the spokes and rim. All tools are by this point useful, and you may administer the torture in any way you like. But the forte of the wheel is the gaps. When you have decided that the victim shall die, you can smash their limbs with a hammer, making them fold in between the frame.
But they'll die. Too quickly, I mean.
No, don't worry. The human body is much more resilient. They can survive for days until they finally succumb.
I mean, technically, they'll probably be in such shock they can't do anything. Oh, here's the wheel. Alright, orb. Orb. The murderer's limbs were tied to the spokes of the wheel. They turned the wheel slowly, but with intent, so the rope secured around his legs stretched and cracked the bone. He no longer had the strength to scream. The two men looked at each other knowingly, and took a hammer and struck the victim's chest in a final act of mercy. If mercy is what you want to call it. If that helps sleep at night. Alright, get out of that room. I am super happy that there's a checkpoint system. I don't have to worry about losing my orb and having to redo all this again. Because I know a lot of people think games can be too easy that way, but... It's Cowwolf again. In a game where the idea is atmosphere and tension, redoing the same part over and over again kind of destroys that. Because if you have to redo the same part over and over because you keep losing, then you stop being scared of it. You become familiar with it. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, but I'm doing it. Shouldn't the spikes be on the inside? If it's a torture device? Oh, I needed that. Should be possible to break open. With what, though? Slab of meat? Nope. Oh, hammer. Haha! Poison gland. Yeah, I need that for the potion for Agrippa. A cow? The traitor did not know what to think of the brass bowl as he was forced to enter it. Only when the heat of fire began to scorch his skin and cook his flesh did he realize it was to be his tomb. His screams of pain echoed inside the brass chamber and traveled through the complex instrument which was the bull's head. Outside, the men could hear the brazen bull below. Now that's just messed up. Is that part of the orb, or is that just a decoration? Oh, that is the orb, okay. So that's 5. Gotta be one more somewhere. Are they all down here in the torture chambers? I think it said there was a couple somewhere else, too. Maybe I don't want to go right down the middle. Stick to the wall. It's easier to get around unseen. Ah, a bridge. Nice. Do. Going this way again. Stick to the walls. That is the plan. It has been working for me so far. I think this is the first room I went in. Yeah. Okay, so I don't need to be in here again. I already got the orb from there. So I think that's all the orbs in this room. Unless there's one in the center. Would there be one in the center? Like, it should be in the torture rooms, right? There really shouldn't be one in the center. Why does it feel like there's footsteps? I think my... That was weird. Creepy. What were these again? Oh yeah, these places. I only have 5 orb pieces, but I now have the mushroom I need. Okay, I need the poison gland. I needed a thing from the thing at the bottom of the well. I needed something from that, too. I think it was a water monster. I forget how I actually got here. Oh yeah, I remember now. Like, I'm in no danger of running out of supplies. I have 30 of those friggin' things. I'm still gonna be stingy because that's just who I am. You can't stop me.
You found Vile's recipe. There might still be a chance. Listen carefully. Alexander is working on opening a gate, a door to another realm. It's where he wants to go. If you could put your anger aside, let him open the portal before you take your revenge. Let me pass the gate then. Please, find the ingredients and prepare the tonic via disguise. And do so before you assemble the orb. The barrier keeping you from the inner sanctum will only be breached for a short time. Unless everything is taken care of before mending the orb, you won't be able to save him.
So is this a two-ending situation? You can save him or not? Alright, I know what's down here. Shit! I didn't mean to jump all the way in. The meat! Oh, okay. I think I just figured that out. I did not mean to go, like, all the way over. Well, how'd I end up here? I still have my stuff, right? Yeah, 5 orb pieces, a poison gland. Yeah, I think I just figured out what to do there.
Dad, good to see you. Looks like you cleaned out the choir. Head for the transept and find the rest of the orb pieces.
Everything left is in the transept. Okay. Wow, that is nice. They actually tell you, okay. That's good. That's very good. So the rest, everything else is in the transept. Aha. Dinner time. Wasn't I supposed to get something for that? Remains. The bone is covered in mucus. Is that what I needed? The mucus from that thing? Remaining orb pieces can be found in the transept. Alright. Made with 3 ingredients. The pedestal and the chancel. Orb needed to enter the inner sanctum. Okay, so I want us to do the tonic first. So I have the mushroom. I have the... Let's see, vaccine? No, that's not it. Plague? No? Oh yeah. Paralyzer, Vitae, and Tempter. Okay, the fungi is the paralyzer. I have that. The Vitae could be extracted usually from any agonized human victim's blood. I already have the Tempter, actually, so I need the Vitae. I just need large amounts to distill it properly. Agonized human victim's blood. How do I get that? Like, there's blood in all of the friggin' rooms. Transept. So the last orb piece is here. And maybe the blood is here too. Oh. I thought I cleaned this place out already. Oh, you know what? I bet the laboratory has blood in it. How do I get in? I have string. Alright, time to double check all these rooms. Because the last orb piece is around somewhere. That's just gonna keep spinning forever. The kidnapper sat on her knees with her hands tied behind her back. She felt her hands being lifted and her body followed. Her shoulders gave way to the weight of her own body and cracked loudly. The suspended woman cried hysterically as the men contemplated their next step. Oh goody, it looks like the stream died. Cool. Oh, guess we're uploading the recording. It's annoying, but it could be worse. Oh, there we go. Are they actually still on? Looks like it. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to check and see how many streams there are after this is done. See, did I miss any orbs? Oh! I did indeed. Okay, I don't want to assemble them yet, though. I do not want to assemble them. I want to find the human blood. Wherever that may be. Agonized human. Like, everyone is agonized. Everyone. Where is there a not agonized human in this place? Seriously. Even I'm agonized. Maybe that's it. Maybe I have to use my own blood. But I'm pretty sure it has to, yeah, I'm pretty sure it has to be fresh. The rapist hanged upside down, his tears soiled with blood flooding from his belly. The saw between his legs had lodged itself in the hip and wouldn't move any further. The men stepped back and waited for the victim to drain. The hatch must be opened first. Oh. Oh, there's blood. They drained the blood in there. Okay. Waha! Got it. So that's all the ingredients I need for the elixir. Alright, so now I should be able to... Can't add anything directly to the blood. The substance needs to be purified first. Okay, what's his name will probably tell me how to do that. Agrippa. So I have all the ingredients.
Before attempting to mend the orb, there might still be a chance for you to save me. Please, my fate is in your hands.
I have it. How do I purify it? Ow!
I see that all the orb pieces.
Oh, come on, I have the ingredients too. I have the mushroom, I have the blood, and I have the mucus from the thing.
To ask anything of you, but if you could find it in your heart to gather the ingredients for Wire's tonic before attempting to mental
Wait, the laboratory.
there might still be a chance for you to save me. Please, my faith is in your hands.
The laboratory should be able to have the stuff I need for that, but I don't know how to get in. Maybe I can just beat it open with a hammer. That's worked up before. Yeah. Nope. Just drop the hammer. Alright, now you tell me what to do with these ingredients.
All the orb pieces you need. I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but if you could find it in your heart to get
Maybe the journal mentions it. How am I depart from him if I may? If my return might be denied. To feed him a tonic made from a paralyzer, vitae, and tempter. Okay.
gather the ingredients for Wire's tonic.
So the fact that there's a thing in the well means that he was actively trying to make this tonic already. Yeah, I have everything. How?
I see that all the orb pieces you need.
Dude!
I know I have no right to ask anything of you, but if you could find it in your heart to gather the ingredients for Wire's...
I have the ingredients! How do I purify the blood?
I see that all the orb pieces you need.
Ugh, crap.
I have no right to ask anything of you, but if you could find it in your heart to gather the ingredients for Wire's tonic before attempting to mend the orb.
I just poison him?
Be a chance for you to
He
save
refuses to eat it. The substance needs to be purified first. How do you purify these things?
My fate is in your hands.
Will you tell me how? Please. I don't think I've seen any devices or anything that can do it. Yeah, it just talks about the mixture and that he wants it. It doesn't say how to purify the ingredients. I'm guessing the laboratory, but I can't get in there.
I see that all the orb pieces you need. I know I have...
All I need to do is get in this laboratory, and I think that's basically it. Wow, that's really good. That's like perfect leverage right there, but I don't think the game will work that way. No. I could totally break that off like that in real life. Yeah, I know the tar is for the orb. I'm not gonna do that yet. I'm gonna fill up my lamp a little bit. There we go. how do I get in there? Slash, how do I purify these things? Like, purification seems like something that would happen in the laboratory. But I don't have a way in. Either I'm missing a puzzle piece or I'm just not seeing something.
I see that all the ore pieces you need. I know
Yeah, that's all he's gonna say now.
but if you could find it in your heart to gather the ingredients for Wire's tonic before attempting to mend the ore.
The shit! Oh! Okay, that came out of nowhere. Wow, what? What even got me? What? That was scripted?
You had me worried. Quite frankly, I'm not sure what to do with you. I hold no grudge against you, Daniel. We are so very much the same, you and I. Did you really drink from the amnesia mixture? It does explain so much of your behavior. You never did finish what you set out to do. You talked about redemption, how you would face the orb's shadow and save our work, and me. I will grant you another chance to redeem yourself. You can wait here and stop the shadow. Thank you, friend.
Where am I? Maybe this is where I find what I need. As soon as I get out. I assume I can get out? Like, there's gotta be a way out, right? They wouldn't legit lock you in here as a fail state and make you load your game, which could be hours back, right? Oh. Some bricks are loose but can't be removed by hand. I don't know what that insanity effect was all about. I was too busy messing with the wood. Okay. There is little left to say. I write solely to prevent myself from revisiting the memories of these last few days. If I am fortunate, I will fall asleep, and time will pass without effort. I've begun to wean myself of my prison. When I first arrived, I felt like I was being buried inside a tomb, but now I feel the close walls comforting me. As long as I am in here, there is no pain. The walls protect me from the outside. I even laughed earlier as one of my wardens dropped a key down in the pipes. It gave me hope for a second, thinking I could escape if only I could somehow reach it from here. In my dreams, Alexander, I am king. In my dreams, I best you and escape your clutches, and return with all the knights of the realm carrying pistols and sabers. In my dreams. The heck? Where'd he come from? Am I seeing things now? Is he fake? Can't interact with him. I can only interact with the bed. Wooden bucket. Oh, there's a well right outside. That makes sense to me. I'm guessing this is locked? Yeah. Okay, do not jump in the well. That's clearly a bad idea. Wait, that's going down, isn't it? So I need to go the other way to go up. I thought it was reeled in. Is this in? Okay. Bucket of water. Combination does not work. How about for these? A bucket of water, you say? Find a key to open the door leading out of the area. What would I use it on? Oh. Wait, can I just examine the water for a key? Alright, I can't put it back on, which tells me I have what I need there. Bucket of water for... very small area. There's only so much that I could possibly look for or find. There might be some weird item interaction I'm not thinking of. There's a key in the pipe. Oh! Perfect. I don't know that it's behind me, but I feel like it's behind me, so I'm just gonna go. Not that way. Not looking. Oh, wonderful. Bunny hop through the water. Do I dare look back? No. I'm not looking back. When Hazel turned 15, she had lived 3 years longer than Dr. Tate had foreseen. Her parents had given up from exhaustion and decided to have her committed for permanent treatment at Canterbury Hospice, but she is still alive. She had embraced him and wished him a grand adventure in Algeria. Alright. Another well. Well, well. Alexander became silent. He didn't know what to say. He could no longer recognize his friend sitting across the carriage.
18th of August, 1839. Tonight, we will unlock the power of the orb and ultimately banish the shadow hunting me. I feel it closing in on me, and I fear for my life more than ever. Just outside Altstadt lies a small settlement where Zimmerman, a dairy farmer, lives with his wife and 3 children. We took the coach, went there. Our visit was unexpected, and Alexander was able to strike Zimmerman down without alerting the others. As he went to take care of the farmhands, I began to look for the children. We should have more than enough prisoners to finish the ritual now.
Jeez. The crying had stopped, and he could hear a whisper coming from the cell. They were up to something, and he would have to punish them. Do I still have a bucket? I have the jar. Should not risk putting this down the well. Not sure what the end result might be. Just a random thought. What is this red crap that keeps appearing? Wait, I think I know this place. This is up top. Yeah, I know where this is. Ow. Ow. I think I know where this is. Could be wrong. Yeah, this is the stairs. Someone took my torches. Sneaky bastards. Is what's-his-face already dead? Agrippa? The laboratory's open. Okay. I'm pretty sure this is where I need to go to help him. Because this is all the stuff. I know it needs to be purified, but I need to figure out how. Oh! Fire! Ah. Perfect. Play it safe. Don't be stupid. Incomplete tonic. In you go. Needs to be purified first. Okay. Oh, good point. Thank you, game. Now, what do I do with the poison? Probably something over here. Ah. Wires tonic. Nice. Okay.
I thought I lost you. The castle trembled and I could hear the chancel collapse. The laboratory might be accessible now. Quickly, off with the head! And then, whatever happens, get me through that gate.
Off with the head? What do you mean off with the head?
You're a good boy, Daniel, and I appreciate your company. But I believe you have more important things to take care of.
Okay, so that basically means I'm done here?
You should hurry, Daniel. No time for sitting around.
Okay. I don't have to actually bring him or anything? He's just gonna be assumed to be coming? He did say off with the head. Ow.
You're a good boy, Daniel, and I appreciate your company.
I assume he's still alive? About as much as he ever was? Okay, now I probably go back to the... How do I assemble the orb? That's the question now. Okay, it probably has to be, yeah. Ah! All is good. Cool. I feel it. I can smell the end coming. She cried and struggled as he pulled at her arm. Her flowered Sunday dress, blah 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 blah. Are they just gonna capture me again? Alright, I need to find a workstation to assemble the orb. Shit! Nope, not that way, not that way, fuck! Sorry! Oh! Ow! Oh! God! That's what I get for barging into rooms, I guess. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Are you actually kidding me right now? Okay. Hurry up. Ugh. What's going on right now? Is he leaving? He is. Okay. Oh, he broke the door. I can't close it. I mean, I have plenty of healing. My sanity's not doing so good, though. What am I missing? The orb is assembled. Now what? The orb does not by itself remove the barrier. Something must be done with the machinery. Okay. There was more machinery back here somewhere. And that way is blocked. So it has to be past the guy over here. Ugh. It's open. What does it mean? Looks like... Ow. Yeah, I deserve that. I'll like shove his head into it and stop it. It's not large enough to jam the cogwheels. Okay, I'm on the right track. You're large enough to jam the cogwheels. Alright, maybe step back and do it. Maybe some upstairs. So did the monster poof out of existence? They seem to do that. After they've scared you and gone boo, they run off. They disappear. Oh.
Of August, 1839. I cannot believe what I have become. One of the girls escaped and I chased after her all the way upstairs. I hunted her down, and what is her life worth? How many lives can I take before I surrender my own? Sure, I would kill a murderer to save an innocent, but to kill an innocent to save myself? A cold-blooded murderer.
Yep. Indeed. This seems fairly sturdy. Woo! I did it! Nice. Shit, that's the cow wolf. Yep, here he comes. Just tuck myself into a corner. He will not see me. I am now invisible. And I will wait until the music subsides. Maybe he doesn't come down this far. They do walk pretty slow. The music stopped. I think that means he's gone. Yeah. What just happened? Oh, that's just... I saw this look like it changed shape, but I think it's just the pattern, like, changing as I get near it. Alright. Let's get the heck out of here. All his life he had thought that he was a good man. Terrible deeds were only committed by terrible people like Henry Bedloe, the bully in school. But now he had seen what he himself could do. We have like a adventure boss fight here.
19th of August, 1839. It's not fair. I'm not to blame. I've been manipulated by that demon. He played my guilty conscience and duped me into facing the shadow alone. That vile, conspiring man. He expects me to meet my death as he steals power beyond imagination. Alexander, I will kill you for what you have done. If only the shadow had caught me in London or Algeria, I wouldn't have to suffer this humiliation. You made me a murderer, a monster. And now, I merely await my death. I am too weak to press on. I can hardly stand as my knees fail me. I cannot see as my eyes are dressed in tears. I am as broken as the men I've tortured. If only I could wipe my fear away, as we did with them.
Alright. Is that what I'm doing? Repentance? I thought the sacrifices would do it. I have to light all the candles? I can. I totally can. I have plenty of tinder boxes at this point. That can't be the answer, though. That would mean if you got here without the right tinder boxes, then you literally couldn't do anything. Can you do anything? Nope. Okay, okay, chill out. You're okay. That's no longer a door. So this is it. This is what we've got. These couple of rooms right here. These spots, they drain my sanity. But to what end? Oh. I'm actually in decent health.
What I see.
orb chamber. He had turned angry. It was easy to take her insolence and make her the villain in this story, but she didn't deserve to die. Even he could see that. I actually left the orb behind. Was I supposed to bring it with me?
I was wondering if you were going to show up. I see Agrippa convinced you to run some errands. Tell me, is everything nice and clear now? Am I the villain? Good and evil. Such comforting concepts, but hardly applicable. Are you so blind that you see no good in me or evil in Agrippa?
Oh. Ow! The birds are falling over. Alright, are there rocks to throw at it? Rocks solve all problems. Or you just push on it. Yeah. Maybe I should push on this one first. Yeah. Push on it. That's not working. Throw the head at it. Am I supposed to do it the other way? What the heck? No, he can't leave, so this is all I've got.
Do you see it? A whole other world. Oh, isn't it beautiful? I can finally return home.
Portal will be open very soon. I forgot, Agrippa told me to do that. Wait for the portal to open and then throw his head in. Or throw him in. Oh, I'm alive. Kinda.
There he is. Do you see him, Vaya? He deserves so much more. Please, help him. I know you can. Don't worry, Daniel. It will be all right.
That was it? Alright. 2018. This game is way older than that. There's no way it's only 4 years old. That was really, really good, though. I must confess, that was so much better than I thought it would be. I don't really have any big complaints. Like, I got stuck a couple times, but That was entirely my fault. I can't name any real bullcrap in the game. If I missed something, it was because I just missed it. Okay, except for maybe the ceiling panel? Like, I saw it, but I just assumed it was part of the scenery. It didn't stand out in any way. There was no indication there was anything behind it. But the game is basically about, like, scouring and searching, so... maybe that's just me not doing enough searching and scouring. Not a big fan of the ending, but I could have just gotten the bad ending. I don't know. I have to look it up, see if there's any alternate endings. Whew. Yeah, that was something else. Freaking fantastic, actually. It's not often a game that you hear about a lot actually lives up to what people say. So it's nice when it happens. Like, I don't know if I'd call it legendary or one of the classics that lasts of all time, but that was a really, really, really cool and neat experience. I wish more games were like that. Like, the puzzles were very, really self-explanatory, but they weren't so simple as to make you like automatically figure them out. Of course, I guess I did automatically figure out a lot of them. I don't know. Like a lot of the puzzles, ODN 314. What does that mean? Not like a secret? I don't know what that was. Anyway, yeah. A lot of the puzzles were very self-explanatory in the way that they are what you would think they would be. Like, there's puzzles with, like, potion making, and instead of being like, here's, like, a sliding block puzzle, or here's a freaking, like, crossword, or whatever. No, it's literally, you put the beakers in place, you turn up the burners burn the stuff, like, it's like logical, real-world style puzzles for the most part. Which I love. Seriously, they almost don't feel like puzzles because they're so logical and real world. Well, they are. They're really cool little puzzles for you to solve. And again, the few times I got stuck, I will take on the nose. That was entirely my fault when I got stuck. It was me not paying attention to the like story clues, me not paying enough attention to the environment, me not trying enough things. Like, there was no point where I looked up a solution and went, oh my god, screw this game. Maybe I said that, but even if I did, then it's probably not really valid. It's my fault, not the game's. Oh, woo! Happy, happy, happy. Glad I finally played it, too. And thank you for joining and watching me play it. I think I'm going to finish early for today because I have beaten a game. Yeah! I'm not sure what else I would do. I guess I could start another stream in a minute. We'll see if I do. Probably not. Maybe. If not, I'll be back tomorrow. Later, and thank you for joining me for Amnesia, The Dark Descent, for the first time.